And so, yeah, talking about, like I said, this idea of serve the people, what we're doing or what we're looking at. Why will this not? Interesting. Let me make sure that it's okay. So, it's a term that gained prominence during the global revolutionary struggles of the 20th century, and particularly through the Chinese Communist Party, but also movements inspired by anti-colonial resistance. So this is a phrase that's attributed, I think, a lot to Chinese communism, to Mao. This whole idea of serve the people. Um, it was adopted worldwide. I think most notably here in the United States with the Black Panther Party and survival programs, which address issues like food insecurity, healthcare, and education. Right. So if we look at the Panther, I mean, lots of times the Panther Party is, I mean, the people focus on, the outward militancy, the guns, the berets, just sort of like that aesthetic or that look. But the reality is that the Panthers did a lot in terms of education, in terms of creating what they call survival programs um, that have to do with food insecurity, healthcare, and education. So, this is very important when we talk about what it means to serve the people. I think it's also very important for us to think about how it is that we, as the Raza Unida Party, enact these things within our different communities. So, in the context of the Chicano movement, serve the people then becomes a guiding principle for activism that's aimed at addressing the systemic injustices faced by Chicanos, and Chicanx in the United States. 7 months ago, we would have had a very different, I think, conversation about what were some of the systemic injustices that we're facing our community here in the United States. I think that as we enter into a new era of fascism in the United States, sort of like naked fascism, I guess. I mean, I'm not even really sure exactly how to call it. You know what I'm saying? But as we enter into this new era, I think that one of the things, that's very important for us, right, is to think about how this idea of serving the people is intimately tied to organization. That there is no way that you can actually fulfill this mandate without organization, right? And so that's what makes these kind of conversations very, very important. We have to think about how it is that we're building on a local level, how it is that we're able to enact the type of structures that are necessary in order for us to, fulfill this mandate of serving the people. But that it has to be done through organization, right? And that it has to be done I mean, it can't be done um, by an individual person. So, I mean, that's one thing that I would say that that guy's absolutely right about. He can't do it by himself, right? But the thing that he was wrong about was that it's any of ours responsibility to organize his community. That was absolutely the thing that he was 100% wrong about. It is his responsibility to organize his community. It's his responsibility and our responsibility to build structures within our local areas that then support state efforts and national efforts. So this principle of serving the people underscores the idea that organizing and struggle must directly benefit the people, especially the working class, immigrants, and disenfranchised, through tangible actions, right?
Those other
When,
earbuds.
when we do work
Cancer.
as the party in different communities, there must be an aspect of the work that we're doing that provides tangible actions, tangible outcomes. And this is where sometimes it gets a little bit difficult, right? Like What is it that we want to work on? What is it that we need to work on? Uh, uh, hey, Shista, what's up? Um, yeah. So this idea of tangible actions has a big impact on serving the people. So key aspects of serving the people in the Chicano movement. One of them is community empowerment, right? Programs focused on providing direct services such as food banks, free health clinics, or educational workshops. Now, I think what's really interesting is that these are the same things that people were doing in the 60s and the 70s. But they're also the same things that people need done in the 2020s, right? I mean, we need food banks and free health care clinics, and certainly educational workshops. So how it is like when we talk about community empowerment too, and I think that this is a big part of what's important for people who are organizing for the party, is that one of the things that we have to understand is that because of the system that we live in, I mean we live under a capitalist system, that economic empowerment is also a part of community empowerment, right? Being able to uh, to have a place to live and to be able to buy food and to have a car. All of these things are important. They're important in terms of how it is that we're able to actually carry out this mandate of serving the people. So this empowering the community to lead these initiatives in fostering self-determination. Now, what's important to remember is that for the most part, we really expect, as we have seen, as we saw demonstrated to us at the beginning of this conversation, that there are a lot of people in our community who think that other people are going to do things for them. The party is not me. The party is not some amorphous thing that exists outside of this. All of us are a part of the party. So when we ask the question, why isn't the party doing this? What we really should be also following that up with is, why aren't I doing it? Because who else is going to do it? I mean, there's no other way to get it done if we're not the ones that are taking the lead in making this happen, right? So as we begin to do that, one of the things that we begin to see is that as we empower the community, right, um, in the different ways that we do, that I mean, we're helping the community to understand that their rescue, or however you want to put it, like their success, their success, that comes from within them, right? That's not something that comes from an outside piece. Um, we are the party, and as a result of that, or as a determination of that, um, whatever success or failures the party has, those are our successes and failures. They're nobody else's. So education as liberation, right? Advocating for ethnic studies programs that teach the history and culture of Chicanas, Chicanos, and Chicanx. All right. I mean, 7 months ago, I would have said, oh, I mean, this is an ongoing battle, blah, blah, blah. I think that what we realize now is that as we pull back, the curtain, right, to see the wizard, um, that the people who run this country have every intention of dismantling any sort of official educational piece that has to do with people of color. The deletion of websites on the Department of Defense that have to do with people like Jackie Robinson or Colin Powell, or, I mean, regardless of how we feel about Colin Powell, why would the United States government delete information about him? That is, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, and so, what we see is that we're living in this moment of erasure, right? So the question that we have to ask ourselves and begin to think through is what role does the party play in combating this erasure? Now, do we spend our time combating it through like official channels? You know, are we going to try to sue Donald Trump? Are we going to try to sue universities to make them do certain things? I mean, that's certainly a way that we could go. I mean, we could do that, but I think that there's a very strong argument for doing a little bit more, right? I mean, to challenge the official function, but to also make sure that we're building through our local chapters educational um an educational process, right? I mean, it could be study groups, it could be a lot of different things. But this has to be a part of it. Education as liberation, liberation through education. All of these pieces are very important. So, as we begin to advocate, I think that we are going to have to expand our vision of what it means to advocate for Chicano and Chicano studies, and I think that we need to advocate it back to the community, right? Like what are we doing to do this? I mean, can we start a Saturday school, or a Sunday school where, people come to learn about Chicano history in our localities? Um, I mean, there's I think an endless run of things that people could think about or do. So this organizing cultural events, workshops to connect the community with its roots, and inspire pride. These are absolutely things that every Raza Unida party chapter should be doing on the local level. Confronting injustice, right? Addressing issues like police brutality, economic inequality, and deportations by organizing protests, legal aids, and know your rights campaigns. I mean, there are a lot of people who are doing this right now. I think there are a lot of people who are doing really good work with this. So, I think that this is one of those particular issues that it would be easy to piggyback off of, right? So part of what makes this topic important and part of what makes this uh, a necessary conversation is as we begin to build chapters, what we have to do is we have to able answer the question, what is it that we do now, right? Um, and so this presentation in part is that when we think about what it means to serve the people, um, it means building educational programs. It means providing empowerment in the way that the community needs that. It means grassroots organizing, right? So the reality is that for anybody who's building local chapters or state chapters or even on the national level, um, there is no end to the amount of things that we can do or that we should be doing. Building coalitions with labor groups, indigenous communities, and other marginalized populations to challenge systemic oppression collectively, right? I mean, if you are a local representative of the Partido Nacional de la Raza Unida, have you met with labor leaders in your area? Right? Have you gone and introduced yourself to them? Have you told them who you are? Have you reached out to state coalitions just to introduce yourself? I mean, there is endless amount of things that we can do to help build this, right? And so, I mean, those are things, and we need to encourage other people to do those things too as they're growing and as they're building these other um, local areas. So this whole idea of self-sustainability, encouraging the development of community-controlled resources and institutions such as cooperative businesses or autonomous schools. Again, this goes back to community empowerment, right? Um, How is it that we can begin to work on these things? How is it maybe even that we begin to think about the specific actions that um, or the actions that specific chapters can take, right? Can one chapter become a driving force in the idea of creating cooperative businesses? Can one chapter become a driving force in learning how and putting together packets for how people in other areas can create autonomous schools, right? I mean, the thing is that as we think about self-sustainability, I mean, we have a challenge, right? I mean, we do. We have a challenge because we have to think nationally and locally all at the same time. And so thinking about, how it is that we get all of this done. In my experience, when somebody says, "Oh, we'll all work on that." Okay? N Nobody's going to work on it. When somebody says, "We'll all work on that," that means nobody's going to do it. I mean, it just does. And so, I mean, we need to think about how it is that we create responsibilities for not just for individuals, but also for chapters, right? How does this chapter do this, right? Maybe the responsibility falls on the state level so that everybody in that state is working towards developing this piece of the informational puzzle. Um, with like with the proper like guidance or whatever, right? So what we're gonna see is we're gonna pick up some examples of serve the people in action. The Raza Unida Party is an example of that. Um, Started in 1970. The Raza Unida Party had, I think, some no, I don't think it had some initial success in the Southwest primarily, mostly in Texas. Um, and they did a good job, right? For the time that they were there. But I mean, let's think about it. I mean, compared to the numbers now, there were not very many Mexicans in the United States, right? I mean, there was like between 7 and 9 million Mexicans in the United States in 1970. There's like 52 million of us now. So the demographic, the number change in and of itself is astronomical, right? The amount of people that have been added to this equation. But even so, I think that the party did a good job challenging injustice, challenging the two-party system in the sense that it showed, I think, that Chicanos, Chicanx people were entirely capable of organizing themselves politically, and that they had the ability to make change in the communities that they could. Mecha is also, I think, a very good example of serve the people. Um, Movimiento Estudiantil Chicano de Aztlán was started at the Second Chicano Youth Conference in Denver, Colorado. Um, and I would say, I mean, irrespective of some of the things that may have happened over the past couple of years, that Mecha and the people who were in Mecha have been very faithful stewards of this idea of serve the people. Working in universities and on college campuses and around college campuses to promote Chicano studies, to promote Chicana culture. Um, yeah, I think this is very real. And then finally, my third example is this of the United Farm Workers. Um, and I like the farm worker example. I mean, they work specifically with their members, I think, which is very similar to, a lot of what it is that we're proposing. Um, and so they're a union, they collect dues, they represent workers in disputes their with their employers. But even more than that, the UFW has built housing projects. They have built a series of radio stations throughout the Southwest, um, and have attempted, I think, to do just that, to serve the people, right? Through education, through empowerment, through certainly through financial empowerment. So, as we look at these three examples, I mean, one of the things that we understand is that within the Chicano movement, that there is a long-term legacy of um, serving the people, right? That this isn't something that's new. Um, these things have happened before. They're still happening. There are organizations, I think local organizations out there that do a really good job, um, fulfilling this mandate. So the contemporary relevance of it is this, that today the principle of serve the people continues to resonate in the effort to fight deportations, address housing inequalities, and combat environmental racism in Chicano communities. It is a call to action that reminds activists and organizers that every step in the struggle must be firmly rooted in meeting the material and cultural needs of the people. This principle transforms activism into a process of building, sustaining, and growing the community while advancing the vision of justice and liberation, right? This is where we're at right now as we think about this mandate and we think about the task that has been set before us, what that hasn't even really been set before us. It's the task that we've set before ourselves is to in building this party, right? Then we have to think about what it means to bring this slogan, right? Because it's a slogan, um, really from the 1930s, the 1940s into the modern moment, right? Into the contemporary moment. Serve the people. So that's the PowerPoint. We have a worksheet, but are there any questions? Is anybody, any thoughts? Anybody got anything they want to say? You're on mute, Scott.
Ye- I think there might be some things I'd want to point out.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, can
Oh,
you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Everything you've said is like right on the money, and it seems that as though the next step is to actually develop, uh, I guess, goals, objectives for community empowerment. That is to say, economic empowerment, political empowerment, and cultural development or cultural empowerment. Um, and it takes certain certain planning to be able to come up with successful um, approaches or goals, that things that we can get done, because we talk about sustainability or police brutality, economic equality, deportation, and those issues. Each one requires a certain strategy to be able to be successful. For example, regarding housing inequality, it's our city governments, our state governments that control the pocket strings to be able to actually provide housing for people. So I would say the strategy would be to build groups that are going to go out there and talk to legislators, elected officials, city councilors, to convince them to come up with a program that's actually going to house people and not just give people to run around and give them out a few pieces of food here and there, or uh, it's it's different just to feed the people and create food banks and stuff. To actually come up with economic empowerment, feeding people, providing for their basic needs is not economic empowerment. It's providing for their needs. And when we're living at a level of just living, providing for our needs, that's not economic empowerment. Economic empowerment is when you actually have control over the pocket strings and can actually develop programs that create not just jobs, but jobs where people are not going to get greedy or over on each other. It calls for an economic a change in the economic system, and so that means we're going to have to come up with a kind of economic system that we're going to pursue in Aslan, I guess, for a bit lack of better terms. But that is to say, there is a system in place. It has a 60-year success record. It comes from Mondragon, Spain, where the workers own the factories, the schools, the everything that it takes to run an economy, the agricultural co-ops and everything. And the top person at the top doesn't get paid more than 7 times more than the person at the bottom. So that goes to say that they have greed under control, which is very much totally opposite of the the capitalist system we live in. And it's in Mondragon, Spain. People should look it up in the and Google it. There's a lot to learn from that. I would like to actually. Um, I'm planning to take a trip to Spain sometime soon. Take a group out there to understand their model. They have sessions where you can actually go there and learn from their model how we can develop their cooperative systems out here. And we basically need to come up with an economic system for our people. I can go on and on, but at this point, I think I better stop. It's yeah. I just wanted to give a little like how I think about economic empowerment, political empowerment. We just need to get in there and kick out some of these guys that weren't aren't going to work with us at the local levels and replace them with people that will. And I see that as political empowerment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, I at all. I mean, I think that, probably what would be really good, Andres, is if you um put together a presentation and maybe like gave it at the next membership meeting or something. I mean, the thing is that there's no way for anybody to have the conversation if it's not introduced. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Exactly. Yes.
yeah.
If I may say, myself and Andrea Martinez, we're planning to get together. I guess at the beginning of this next month, and there's a group from here from New Mexico planning to get together. So I want to start talking with these people regarding this idea and stuff. I think her concern was a little that I was trying to sort of like I guess keep it between her and myself. No, and that's not the case. I was wanting to do that because I know she's the state chair, and so we need to come together with a plan for New Mexico. But yes, this whole idea needs to be shared, and how we could all develop real political empowerment, economic empowerment, and of course from there will flow the culture.
Yeah, I think that's great. I would look forward to your guys' presentation. I think that's
Thank
I mean, that's the kind of thing. I mean, you're absolutely right. Those are the kind of conversations that we have to have, right? I mean,
you.
even in and of itself, that is a conversation of sustainability in terms of like being able to talk about like how are we gonna do this, right? Like, I mean, everybody's
Yes,
all like tear it down, but like tear it down and do what, So yeah,
exactly.
Andrea, go ahead.
Yeah, I was telling him that we're going to be there at the beginning of April if he wanted to have coffee with us. I said that it would be you and Scott.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We sure are
Great.
you in
Oh yeah.
Albuquerque, Andres?
Yes, I'm right in the middle of Albuquerque.
Okay, I look forward to meeting you then in about a week or so.
Yeah, we'll
Great.
all be there.
Sounds great. Looking forward to as well.
Okay. Um, and so I think that all of that, I mean, I think that's really good. And I think that these are the kind of conversations that we need to have. What we also, but in I mean, let's take a look at the worksheet, because part of what it is that, I mean, for people like us, those who are on this call right now, I mean, we've been doing this for a while, right? And there's a lot of people out there who want to do something, right? But don't know what to do. And so I would, urge all of you to kind of think back to that moment in your own sort of journey through all of this, right? And I mean, part of what is the sustainability piece for the party itself is that we need to be able to think about how to educate our members to get them up to speed a little quicker, maybe than we were able to get up to speed because we didn't have the same sort of network, or we didn't have the same kind of help, right? That we're trying to supply to them. So yeah, Scott, did you want to say something? Were
Oh
you?
yeah. I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned uh going to organization like established organizations and work organizations and things like that and introducing yourself. So, I mean, let's take my situation here in Oakland. I'm like the only person there's other few people around that I can't get contact with. Um, so let's say I meet somebody, like what's something I should say? They might say, "What are you guys about?" I mean, I can say we're organizing, we're building, we're educating. But there, how people are like, what can you do for, like, what can I do for them? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that's where last week comes into play,
I
right?
wasn't able to
Like,
be here last week,
oh, I'm sorry.
or
Okay.
was it the other week? I can't remember.
I mean, what we do, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we build a rap,
Yeah,
right? Like, what is it that the party does do? I mean, we talked about that extensively last week. Like, what is the mission of the party, right? How do we continue to
okay, okay, sorry.
build, um, how do we continue to build these oh, she used to say you were there, dude.
Okay, can you, can I can I hire her for the rest of my life?
I mean,
Or them, sorry.
I mean, this is the thing, right? Is that you got to go back to the rap, right? I mean, this is the part I think that gets difficult sometimes for people, is that whatever it is that we talked about last week that the party does or that we do, it's the same as it is this week, right? No,
Yeah,
nothing's changed. Even though we're talking about something that's slightly different, the underlying factor of it is that nothing has changed. I mean, really, you could just go in and say, "Hey," I would go in and say, "Hey, my name's Ernesto Mireles, and I'm part of the Raza Unida party. We have hundreds of members right now in over 25 states. We're really trying to build politically. And I just wanted to come over here and meet you and tell you that, I'm here and that we're going to be working in this community. And, I'm sure that some of your members will also be some of our members at some point, right? I mean, it's
have you been to the Bay Area?
inevitable. Have
Uh,
I been to the Bay Area? Yeah, I've been to the Bay Area. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of arrogance, a lot of like, stop what you're doing. You should join what we're doing. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, I, I mean, does that really keep you from talking to people about the party?
no, but it's
Wow.
like
I mean, then,
the lot of like disagreements, and there's not a nice way to say where, like, you're like, what they're really like, they don't they're really there's a lot of other socialist groups around here, but they're really interested in, it's mostly white people, and mostly white people, and there's no like consciousness about being like a settler, or occupying, or anything else, you know what I'm saying? And
are
so
there
it's like,
Chicano organizations in the Bay Area?
there's some Chicano organization, native organizations. I wouldn't necessarily say they're all like socialist, but
I mean,
yeah, there's definitely,
it doesn't, I'm just, are there Chicano organizations in the Bay Area?
I can find some. There's some like Latino ones, and there's native ones like Native Friendship Houses and things like that.
My guess is that there's more than a handful, right?
Yeah,
I mean, start with them. You know,
okay,
I
that's a good idea.
I mean, it's I mean, you could go to you know, I'll tell you, I think if you went and met with a president of a union, I think that you might be surprised about their receptivity to the meeting, to be real honest with you. I mean, most labor people are at least willing to have a conversation. Also, too, I don't really see how they could see you or us as a threat. I mean, we don't do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's just kind of like, I mean, I would go talk to the labor people. I think that's a really smart thing to do, to be real honest with you, because there is going to be raza in those unions. And I mean, if you can get to know them, I mean, that's also a way to garner some financial support in the areas in the cities that you live in. I mean, we make up the majority of the workforce in this country. Um, I mean, it doesn't matter hardly almost where in what union, um, except for maybe some of the ones back east. But out here, I mean, there's going to be a lot of Rasa in the unions. LACLA is a big piece of that, right? Um, and so I think that, we really need to think about how it is. I mean, we have to really try to be, si se puede, right?
Mhm.
Not no se puede. And so, I mean, it's like, we got to get out there. We got to reach out to these people. We're going to have some irritating conversations. Look, somebody took minutes out of their day today to come in here and try to ruin our day. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really what that was, right? Like that guy was just like, I'm just going to ruin these guys' day. I
You
mean,
don't get it. He was real.
yeah. I mean, so we have this I mean, we're going to have conversations like that. That's inevitable. And I mean, but what we got to do as we practice our raps, as we understand, what our vision is for the local area, then we're going to be able to overcome that, right? So even in like yeah, at the beginning, Shista. Yeah. He was You know what? I'm gonna tell you guys. That guy even had me text him to tell him the meeting was about to start.
Is he in your area?
No,
Oh,
I don't know where he's at. To tell you the truth, he just said I don't want to miss the meeting. He said, but I'm having a hard time getting my emails. Can you text me? And so I texted him this morning to tell
that's
him the meeting
weird.
was going to. I know, what a weirdo. Anyways, the so you have this so we have this thing, right? And so this is the part I think, and this is the thing that's been challenging for those of us who have been working on this for several years now, is that we really have to accept the fact that we're the ones responsible at the local level, right? Like it's just, I mean, I can't think of any other way to say it. um, Whatever town that we're in, we're responsible for that town. And the only way anything is going to happen there is if we make it happen. And so thinking about like, what does it mean to serve the people, right? Like when people say that, it's like I was saying in the beginning, these are slogans that are just thrown around so casually, right? Oh, we're going to serve the people, man. And it's just like, well, how do you serve the people, right? How do we build the party? And so I put in the worksheet in the chat. So you guys can just kind of download it and take a look at it. But I think that going through it is probably, it's not a bad idea, right? Like let's sit down and let's try to flesh out what some of these things, really mean in terms of organizing, right? Like I think that what Andres was saying a second ago is actually spot on. You know, But in order for us to be able to put pressure on people, on local elected officials who are not working in the interest of Rasa, we have to be organized, right? One person can't do that by themselves, right? One person can't vote somebody out of office, right? Or vote somebody into office. That only happens through organization. We build power through organization. And so, how do we do that, right? The very first thing that we have to do is if there's one of us, then we've got to find another one, right? And then we just doubled our membership right there, right? Because what one person, two people can do, two people can make a stand, right? That's what the good book says. One will fall, two can make a stand, and the threefold cord is not quickly torn asunder, right? So you have yourself, you have the person, the next person that joins, and then the third part of that cord is the support that comes from the party outside of it, right? So we look at this, it says, the introduction, it says, creating a local chapter of the Partido Nacional de la Raza Unida is a powerful way to serve the people. And then it talks about the worksheet. So understanding serving the people, the definition, serve the people means prioritizing the well-being of the community over personal or institutional interests. It requires organizing that directly benefits the people, especially the working class, immigrants, and disenfranchised individuals through tangible action. So, working class, immigrants, disenfranchised individuals, right? All of us here are part of the working class. All of us here have to go to work in order to survive. So we're working on our own behalf. All right. So key aspects of serve the people. We kind of talked about this already. Community empowerment, education as liberation, confronting injustice, grassroots organizing, self-sustainability. All right. So this question here, how do these principles align with what you see happening in your own community right now? So let's kind of talk about that real quick. If anybody just want to talk a little bit about their local area.
Which question again? Show it.
If you right here, Andrea, it says how do these principles, when it says how do these principles, it's talking about these ones right above it, key aspects. So, I mean, the real question is, I mean, partially is even do you see these things happening in your community right now? Right. And if you don't, then I mean you don't. And I think that, but I think it's important to say that, right? I mean, if that's not happening, then we need to say, well, that's not really happening here, you know. And then that gives us also a baseline or a way to I think a starting point.
Some of
So
them
may I?
like we have, some of them like we are definitely in need of.
Well, like which ones, sister? Which ones do you have?
Well, we have some like the community empowerment, like food banks,
Hmm.
free health clinic. We don't have educational workshops though. We do not have ethnic studies or cultural events or anything like that. And if it is, it's half-assed. Um, Confronting injustice. We have some grassroots organizing. Um, I haven't found anybody that's as confronting injustice as much as myself. So I'm looking for more people like me a little bit on that one.
Okay.
Self-sustainability, we do not have that. I mean, we need a building.
But you do have some of these things.
We have some, just
I,
not all of it.
well, but I mean that's good, right? But I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
what that means is that there is a starting point, right? That there's some things that are there. Andreas, you were going to say something?
Um, yeah. Well, first of all, I was going to say this: the stuff on the chat there is too small for me to see, and so I'm not sure exactly how to keep track of things there, like what's being said. But I think you were referring to what we in our community see as aspects that we can organize on. Is that, am I reading that correctly? What you were getting at?
Yeah, is this a little bit better on the screen now?
Oh yes, yes. Okay, so we're I
Okay.
see key aspects to serve the people at the Exicano movement.
Yep.
So community empowerment, education. So yes, in confronting grassroots organizing, self sustainability. Uh, I think right from the start, what I want to say is that these are very very general terms.
Hmm.
So we first of all in our organization, the Raza Unida, and second of all, break that down into I guess states need to figure out what the hell we're talking about when we talk about self-sustainability or like community empowerment. I think some like self-sustainability actually means being able to provide your own food, clothing, shelter, education, medicine.
Okay,
Uh,
hold
you
on,
know,
hold on a second, Andres.
so
Andres,
okay,
real quick, real quick. I
mm,
Nothing you're saying is I don't disagree with anything that you're saying.
right.
What this is asking you is, do you see examples of these things happening in your community? And if you
Oh,
do, what are they?
well, actually, no. I don't think there's any examples of that because community empowerment, nobody's actually defined it. There's no actual real group organization that's pursuing community empowerment in its totality. There's aspects of that. For example, in Tierra Maria, there was a clinica that was established that provides, medical services. But the medical clinic in of itself is not community empowerment because there's a whole bunch of other things people are being faced with, like no jobs,
Yeah,
people having to leave Tierra Maria when they graduate from high school because there's nothing there anyway. So there's aspects of these things all over our neighborhoods, but none of them are connected, and none all of them are like drifting cells, drifting independently, floating like in the ocean with no connection. And yeah, people sort of like say, "Oh yeah, we need to support each other and stuff," but it's all word, and I think it's well meaning and well intentioned, but the thing is the aspects that need to make these things connect are not there, and unfortunately it's I'm even concerned that people don't want to make these things happen, or maybe they just are so lost that they don't see how these things can possibly actually happen. So there needs to be real study, real assessments, real evaluations, detailed down to the nitty gritty. They say the devil's in the details,
yeah.
but we need to say the empowerment is in the details. So
Hmm.
we need to look at the details, find out where and how we need to go, because this puzzle, all of the pieces of the puzzle only fit in there a certain way, and so I think that we really need to learn that, and it starts from finding out what the objective conditions are that exist in our communities, and
Yes.
then take it from there and make a plan. But it starts with the objective conditions.
Yeah. No, I think that's very, very, very true. And that's the role of the local chapter, right? Is to figure out what the objective
Good.
conditions are in the different communities. That's a very good point. So, identifying community needs. All right, we're going to do a little activity here. Conduct a community assessment to identify the most urgent needs in your area. The questions to ask are this: what are the most pressing social, economic, or educational challenges faced by our community? Are there existing resources that are underutilized or in need of improvement? And what cultural programs are missing that could strengthen Chicano identity? So, what I want everybody to do is I want you to take 5 minutes, all right, and just get a piece of paper and I just want you to make some bullet points, okay? um, and to answer those three questions, and then to think about this based on your assessment, which of the five key aspects of serve the people would be the most impactful in your community. All right. So we're gonna take 5 minutes. I'm gonna put a timer on, and everybody just kind of go through and bullet point that out. How's everybody doing? You guys got your list? We still got a couple minutes to go. Well, we'll just write it out then. All right. Okay. Let's go around real quick and just sort of answer those questions, share with everybody what it is that we wrote. And then yeah, and I'd love to hear a little bit about your assessment. So who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay, well, housing, and there's no shelter for a growing homeless issue. And the only shelters that there is Christian, and the requirement is you go to church. So they're not even a tent cities allowed. And because of the flood, they're saying fix your house or you lose it. Violence and drugs affect my community, and it doesn't seem like anybody cares to address it. We have corrupt police, we have corrupt city council. We are in bad need of mental health resources. We have a situation where they leave you in for 2 days and they just release people back out onto the streets. It's horrible. Um, and stuff for our children to do. I mean, they want people to pay, for stuff, and I think our children should have, access to free events and things without, we just need it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that would help to save them from the violence, if they knew there was something out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I remember when I was a kid, I mean, we just played sports like for free, and it's just that's changed so much. Who'd like to go next?
So I'd like to say a few things. Pretty much, I think Andrea hit the nail on the head, especially when in my list, I left out corruption, but I think that's very, very important. My list uh, talks about I combine homelessness with housing, with rent problems, all in one because I think they're all related and they uh, could probably all be worked out with a similar solutions. Price gouging I listed as a big problem because that's like all of the prices going up, and I think most people mostly know about the prices of eggs, but I mean it's like everything else is going up. I think that's a big concern because that's where I think greed plays in, and it's like the ruling class testing us out, finding out how much we're willing to take, and how much we can take without really doing anything about it. It's a tough thing. I think there's very particular things that can be done regarding price gouging. It takes putting pressure on the district attorney. I'm sorry, the attorney general, because he's the one who has the reins on what to do with price gouging. And then I think she mentioned also drugs. I put drugs, crime, and police misconduct all in one list because I think they're all related and they're all connected. And finally, I list deception versus education. I think a lot of our education is deception. I mean, the fact that Chicano history is like missing out of educational systems is an example of that. So I think these are urgent needs all in our community. So having said that, it's like hard to say, well, focus on one of them. I mean, that's like saying, well, I'm being attacked by a whole bunch of animals, but I'm just going to focus on one. No, I think that we really need a strategy how we're going to deal with all of it, and simultaneously. So there needs to be like a central group that's working with groups that are dealing with the particular issues, but it all needs to be connected because this thing about, well, I'm working on this and you're working on that, and we're not connected, and it all needs to be connected. I think so. There needs to be a plan how all of it is going to connect.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I can.
Okay.
Um, we have so in Mesa, or we have all the problems, and where we live is like I'm pretty, keep to myself, and I'm pretty privileged, so I actually don't really have my finger on the pulse of exactly what the neighborhood needs, and I kind of need to find that out. But I know for sure education, because like our whole state is not great, and I'm sure like we always have some crazy teacher coming up doing inappropriate shit and saying racist shit. So and they don't seem to get in trouble. So my focus would want to be on education because I have kids right now, and that's kind of like where I am in my life. But like we've got all the problems. We got homelessness and poverty. In my neighborhood too, we have a lot of like group homes, and like that girl, and we have another indigenous girl missing. Um, you know, she's right around the corner from me. So how cool would it be if I had some kind of group going where kids could come and like, at least have one other adult Chicano or indigenous, person who's trying to, who cares about them, and maybe hopefully I get some more parents involved who will help me because it's daunting. What was I gonna say? Hold on, I'm in my car and my phone. So the organizations near us, Chicanos por la Causa is like down the street from me. I could walk if I wanted, but I'm too lazy. But I mean, it's really close. It's on my same street that I like, the main drag that I live on off of. Also, we have a state rep named Lorena Austin, or she's I think, yeah, House representative for the state. And she sounds really cool. I think she won. She was a Democrat. I'm like not following. It's hard to pay attention to everything, the local politics, but she's queer, Chicana, or she calls herself fifth generation
Oh,
Mexican. And her politics she seems like one of the coolest people I've ever heard of, like running for office. So I really want to like make you know, get in touch with her and yeah, I was say your whole neighborhood has lots of people already doing things for people's material conditions, like or trying, and not to say that it's being totally fulfilled because we have like a lot of like Chicanos por la Causa, they're doing their stuff and they have some educational stuff that they like trying to teach people how to like buy a home. And I've attended some other things online. And it's cool and helpful, but yeah, I thinking about it, yeah, there's ways I could get in. Need to do it. That's it, I think, right? I don't know.
Okay. No, it's good. let's do one more. Who wants to be the last one? There's Scott, Thomasine, and Alex. Go ahead, Scott. You took your mic off first.
Oh, okay. Um, I mean, I'm kind of mirroring what Andres and I think Chista just said. Basically, like, and both because I live under a rock, and also I think basically I think every all this feeds together, right? Like a lot of these issues. Hang on a second. Like it would be good if we could connect with indigenous organizations and create education programs, like Saturday school is, which I always think would be really, really great. And also stuff like Vanessa's doing with financial, particularly these days, right? Like how to better manage your finances and basically get, uh, and having some self-sustaining programs, that will feed into each other basically. And where we don't need to rely on this, system that is this feeds off it and makes it worse. It was all about squeezing as much as it can out of the ordinary people, you know.
What I mean, totally. Did you have a list of things that you saw in your community that you think people that we could work on as a party?
Um, like I
I
was
mean,
saying, I live out under a rock, but
well,
I think
definitely housing.
housing,
Yeah,
absolutely
housing.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think anything that can help with the price of things. I mean, it's very expensive out here, even though they talk about the spiral and all the irritating Californians that moved to Austin and Kansas and like everywhere, probably where all you guys are. The thing is, the prices haven't come down here, so there's a lot of
uh,
homelessness and there's a lot of people still struggling. The rich people that well, not there's still plenty of rich people left in the hills and all this other area. There's still plenty of rich people here, but the ones that are a little more mobile left. The younger ones that calls out looting. Um, so they're in your neighborhood now, but we're still, it's still like I went to Austin. It was cheap to me compared to like, just the average grocery store here
yeah.
because just the prices are insane here.
Okay.
Um, but the yeah, so I think housing, the cost of food, having your own like there are community gardens and things like that, but there's got to be other things people can do. Uh, talk about yeah.
Girl, you and me both. Sometimes I went to McDonald's one time. It was the last time I went to McDonald's, and they were like, it was like almost $50.
Yeah, it's
I
insane.
was like, yo, I just bought a couple of like what do they call them things? Breakfast sandwiches and like some hash browns and shit. I was like, you fools are off your rocker. I was just like, this is yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and I
I'm
think there's got to be it's housing, it's food, cost of living, um, but I think there's also things with like education and financial education, like we're trying, and also like if we can have programs like this Saturday school is something that would be really great. We talked about this for years, but we need like having something um where I don't have children, but I've kind of realized the parents don't want their kids around. They want some place to drop their kids off or give them something to do. It's not just about that, kids,
well,
but having some kind of educational program to give them a better sense of self and a better like idea of um like because the Chicano kids should hate their parents for just like Chinese kids and Jewish kids for Saturday school. I mean, like, or
so
yeah,
no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's funny.
yeah, but they make it for the same reasons to teach their history, their
Yeah,
culture, and their
that's right.
language,
And it's very
languages.
effective.
Yeah,
It's very effective. So I think that everybody that has made a list and has given some very good examples. I think that what Scott and Andres brought out are absolutely true. We have to find ways to address all of these issues. Our challenge as we begin to build our chapters and as we begin to train other people to be organizers is not to like overwhelm people immediately, right? We want to wait until we've known them for at least 3 weeks before we try to overwhelm them. And so I think, I mean, that's what I'm saying is that I think for those of us who are responsible for directing the organization on the local level, that we always have to have in mind that we need to address all of these issues, right? Like 100%. I mean, and that's got to be our goal, right? The same way that I was saying earlier, could this local chapter be in charge of figuring out, alternative education or this or that? I mean, as we bring people into our chapters and into our state networks, we need to think about where they plug into, right? Like where is it going to be the most important for them to be? But in terms of getting people going, um, I think that it's a lot easier to say, okay, we're going to work on this today, right? Like this is what we're working on right now. But I think, and at the same time, we always have to be thinking about the big picture. Always thinking about the big picture, right? That's really the role of the organizer, is to think about the big picture and to help
Yeah.
other people figure that out. Okay, so let's look at number three here. We have a okay. Well, I think we're doing pretty good on time. So number three, step three, creating a PNLRU chapter as a response. Okay, so we have all these different things that we listed out. Okay, so when somebody comes along and you say, okay, we need to start a chapter. What are we going to do? Okay, sit down, make this list with a group of people, right? The same way that we're doing right now. You sit down with the people that you have around you and you say, okay, what are the issues here? What are the problems here? Right? And it may be that you have to have this conversation with people that you want them to become members, but they're not ready to become members yet, right? But they are willing to have this conversation with you in terms of like what it is that they think that we should be working on. So as you do that, it says a PNLRU chapter can implement programs to meet the needs identified in step two. Use the following framework to outline your chapter's first steps. Okay, so which key aspects are we going to be looking at? And I think we can just sort of choose through here. Let's go with education as liberation, because a lot of what we talk about really has to do with how we're educating people, right? So okay, we're gonna go for education as liberation. This is the piece that we're gonna prioritize. All right. So if we're doing that, then let's make a list. Let's just call it out. Who are the people that we want to ally with? So we're gonna go through education. Who are our community partners? Who are the people we're gonna go talk to?
May I say something
Oh,
about that?
absolutely. Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
I don't think we have any in Albuquerque. I don't think there's anybody to go to. I I'm sorry to say that, but if somebody actually anywhere in New Mexico that we can go to that we could ally with. I mean, there's people that have aspects of education as liberation. I'm not sure where anybody's on the same page. So I guess as a first step, we all need to get on the same page. At least in New Mexico, like I wouldn't know who to go to because I just don't think there's people out there that are really thinking of education as liberation, at least in the same way that I am, and that's where we need to start. Hey, How do you see these things? You know, this is how I see it, and so uh, we need to begin with communication, and where are we all at? I don't know anybody in my state that.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you in Albuquerque?
I'm in Albuquerque.
Okay, I mean, there's Daniel Osuna. I mean, the other thing, I mean, like that
So
the
what's
that
he
college is
doing?
right there. I might just make a flyer and put it around the college. I know some uh what do you call it? There's some
Oh,
grad students, and they actually are having Daniel Suna do his like come to a class. Like he lives in Albuquerque. He did that 500 years of indigenous resistance. He's going to a
yeah,
class and speaking to a class there. So if they organize that, there's got to be some at least some consciousness and if like um I think these ideas that to have like Raza Unida coffee, if you could, if we just organize that, I mean, like while we're in town, we can have a coffee and try to, invite some folks. But like, I'm gonna try that in my area to go to the park on Saturdays. That's where a lot of Raza are, and try to advertise it and just like talk about Raza Unida and make it kind of low key and kind of build that and try to see, understand the community a bit more and also how what where where we could fit and like where we can get more membership and where we can start building things, right?
I
So make
think
yeah.
well,
Oh no, I
with the
think that's good. So in the chat, they put Mecha, Rasa alumni orgs, union organizers, community colleges, high school guidance counselors, that type of thing, right? So I think that not, and this isn't to dismiss what Andres was saying at all, because I think that Andres actually brings up a really good point. And the point is that all of these people are not going to think about this the same way that we're thinking about it.
right.
But the other flip side of that is that we can't let that stop us from reaching out to them for help, right? Andrea, what were you going to say?
Well, I know that Enrique is in there, and I know that him and Andres know each other, but I know for some reason or whatever, I don't know their history, but I know that Enrique has the members, he has, you know what I mean? And I think he needs to he needs to introduce them to Andres. I mean, that's just the bottom line. He's there. He needs to you know,
Well,
because I mean,
I'm,
even I don't even know all his members because
I mean, I, I,
he's had a whole chap. I mean, the Bernalillo Raza Unida, which is separate from, the Raza Unida. So, I mean,
right. I think we can talk about that, but I think we should talk about it while we're not recording the conversation.
okay.
Because I'm going to put this up on YouTube.
Okay.
So but I'm happy to have that conversation with you. I think it's an important one. Because I mean, I will say this, we all are facing challenges right now. So that's probably the best way to put that. But you're not wrong, sister. Yeah, we can talk about it afterwards. So I'd be
Okay.
happy to. Um, okay, so the cookouts. So you choose you figure out what you're figuring out what the issues are in the community that you're in, right? Now, this is the basis of all organizing, right? Otherwise, why organize? I mean, what is it that you're organizing for? I mean, if we're organizing to build power, to build a program, to start a local chapter, then the very first thing that we have to do is we have to identify specifically some issues that are affecting Rasa in that area, right? Now, it's not simply enough to just say, oh, things are fucked up, because they are truly fucked up, right? But that doesn't really give us a starting point to work from in the community, right? So we want to go through, we want to list some things out, we want to figure out, what's happening. We want to take a moment and think about how it is that we want to work through these issues, right? Um, and then sit down and think about, okay, who's going to who are our partners, right? Who's that we can do this with? Okay, so the next one is talking about develop an action plan, right? So what are three immediate actions your chapter can take to address community needs? All right, Andrea, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm sorry, but I know from conversating with you and from listening to you talk to other people that you think about this a lot. I know that you do. So, what are like if it had to do with violence, let's say violence and drugs, all right? What
Oh
are
wow.
three things that a Rasu Nita chapter could do in Roswell to immediately address that issue?
Um,
It's a tough one.
Well, I mean, for me, I think I need, I would love, I need the support to have a place where we can catch the children early so we can have like, this is my ideas that I think, like lowrider art classes, any kind of art classes,
You
kind
want
of,
to
they get into the cultural, making the bikes,
you want to
things
open a center.
that put their minds to use because literally this city is a traumatized community. There is not one person that's a Chicano. Okay, so there's two sides of this city, right? We have this white Republican side that live on the north side in the nice houses, and they're trying to sky price the hell out of Roswell, and I think they're trying to drive us out. And so there's nothing for our children, and I would like, I'm kind of losing my frame of thought.
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. So
Uh,
let's do the so really what you're talking about right now is opening some sort of a center, right? Where people can
yes,
come and do, okay, what's the other thing? What's the next thing that can
and
be
that's
done?
and we're gonna what we would do is bring the people that have survived the violence and then survived the drugs, and to really teach these children what they are looking at if they follow our footsteps. Literally, if they follow my footsteps, they will die. If they follow, so like I had said, this city is a traumatized city. I mean, when family members start killing each other, it's like holy shit. We're too small that we're living next to our enemies, and so um, in order to break that, we just got to start with the children, and
Okay.
that's
All right. No, that's
for
good,
me.
sister. So
Um,
you're saying
but
that you could open a center and that you would want to create a trauma healing program.
yes, that's another thing.
Okay, what's
I
the
was
third thing?
I was stabbed at 17 years old. I was in front of my 1-year-old baby, in my blood. No kind of no kind of nobody to talk to, nothing. In fact, I ended up going to jail for missing court. How ridiculous. I mean, I should have sued Roswell, but I was only 17 years old. I didn't know shit.
Right.
So, I would like for the people that have because like I said, we've all experienced traumas down to children. I mean, my daughter's 10-year-old cousin got shot in the neck in her own home. I mean, this is ridiculous. I think we need a place for uh the mothers and fathers can talk, about their traumas. The survivors can talk about their traumas.
Yeah. Yep.
So a building that would be multifunctional for all these things. My friend did, because his son did get shot. He started a Stop the Violence rally, and this is going to be his third year. And this year I'm joining in, and we're going to help with the food. But I got the nonprofits to come in. I'm gonna take the time to get on the mic, do a short thing to to see if anybody wants to join us, but I can't get too political because of the fact that unfortunately a very powerful church is going to be there, and I cannot explain this church. I think they're freaking the devils. But
Okay. All right. Wait a minute, Andrea. Wait a minute. You got to give me one more thing that a Raza
okay,
Unida chapter could do in Roswell. So you've named two, right? One is open a center. The second one is start this trauma healing program, right? That
okay.
that would help people work through all the things that you're talking about. What's the third thing that a chapter there could do?
Well, it would be doing more of these stop the violence, the rallies, because like my friend, what he started um last year, I called up a friend and I said, you can get gun locks, right? And so we didn't think Roswell would care for gun locks, but we gave away 100 gun locks in like 5 minutes.
I mean, that's
So this
incredible.
year I got them. I got the nonprofit to give out 400. So I mean, anything we could do to contribute, even whether it's monetary or just donations of food, any kind of thing that would also, bring come together. Just it's a community event, so like I mean, if we had members to join in, we could just help these events going. And I mean, I did not know that the community was starving for an event like that until I saw it last year, and I was just there for a little while, and I found out my friend had to pay for all the food by himself. So that's when this year I got involved, and so I was able to get all the nonprofits to go. So now it's gonna grow, and it's gonna, it's gonna
So
get bigger. But
So you see what Andrea, what we've done, or Andrea has like answered these next three questions, right? Identify potential leaders for roles like communication, outreach, and event coordination. So these are people who would be looking, like would be within the chapter. But I mean, think about all the people that Andrea is already working with in Roswell. She's working with churches, she's working with nonprofits, she's working with grassroots organizations. All of this is around this idea of stopping the violence, right? And so then, as we put this together, as more people come in, I mean, maybe the thing that Andrea wants to work on in Roswell is building a Raza Unida chapter that's main purpose, at least in the beginning, is to open this center, right? That's how you get people into into the party, into working on it, right? So we go to step 4. It says implementing your plan. Starting your chapter may feel overwhelming if you've never organized before. I know that it does. I remember, when I first started out, there was a lot. But breaking it into manageable steps can make the process smoother and more effective. That's what we're doing here. And this is what we've been learning these last several weeks is how do we break this into manageable steps, right? It's like how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time, right? That's the only way you can do it. So, you identify community concerns, which we've already done. Or well, I mean, if you were working in the community, ask your community directly what they need. Have a cookout, have a coffee, right? I mean, the cookouts are actually a great idea. I mean, who's not going to come to the cookout, right? Except maybe that guy that was at the beginning of the meeting. He might not come to the cookout, but I bet you he would. He'd tell us our hot dogs were terrible, and then he would leave. The Um, so ask your community directly what they need. Host informal discussions at schools, churches, or cultural centers. This is where going out and talking to high school principals or teachers could come in really handy. Maybe they don't really want anything to do with the party, but they think that the way that people are murdering each other is terrible and that needs to stop, right? Um, I mean, we have to be open to the reality that number one, not everybody's going to agree with us, and that's fine. Because we don't all need to agree with each other. We just need to be able to collaborate in order to get the things done that we need to get done. And that by far, most of the people that we meet that are outside of the party, or even those that are maybe are inside of the party, they have different reasons and motivations for wanting to do the things that they want to do. Um, and so we just find that we have to find that common ground. So we talk about developing partnerships with local groups, find existing groups that are already working in your area. I think that Andrea is doing a really good job of this, right? Partner with those groups. Partnering with those groups can reduce the burden on your chapter while expanding your impact. Um, again, I mean, find people who are already doing the work. The We have specific things that we need to do with the party. They are of a political nature, um, and we can't shy away from that, right? That's our mandate. That is the task that we set before us. How we build that political power is going to be different in every community that we're in. So we want to recruit members by emphasizing the chapter's role in serving the people. So when we think about this mandate to serve the people, and we go out and we talk to people, talk to individuals that we want to join as we're creating this wrap, right? and we're going out and we're having these conversations, these very intentional organizing conversations with different individuals. What we want to do is focus on how the things that the party is doing on the state level, on the national level, and hopefully on the local level is going to create some sort of positive change, right? Um, yeah, I mean, people are more likely to join if they believe that it's going to impact immediately where it is that they live, right? I mean that was kind of what that guy was saying to us, all jokes aside. He's like, I'm the only one here. And I was like, yep, you are, brother. You're the only one there. Now, if you had went out and recruited one other person, then there would be two of you there. And if you guys went out and recruited two other people, then there would be four of you there, right? Um, the onus is on us, right? The burden is on us to deliver in the local areas. So effective communication is critical. Create a simple yet reliable system to keep your members informed and motivated. I mean, text messages, right? That's the way we all live these days. Um, and then just to kind of wrap up, I'd like to just deal with this question right here. What simple projects could we organize within the next 2 weeks and have that be something under the for the party? Any ideas what you guys might be able to do in your local area? I have some ideas about mine, but you guys
I I have some ideas.
go ahead, Andres. Yeah.
Uh, well, basically, like right now here in New Mexico, we're going through the end of the state legislative session. That means that there's been, or hopefully might have been, a lot of money appropriated for housing. So within the next 2 weeks, I think it's important to kind of sit down and assess uh, what money is going to housing, how much is going to housing. You know, if Roswell's getting any of it, I'm sure Albuquerque is, because you know, the politics, how it works. But there needs to be an assessment as to how much money was appropriated for housing, and where it's going to, because some of it's going, I guess, to give a man a fish so that he could eat. Is how much of it's actually going to actually build housing to take people out of the streets, is my concern. So I really feel that's something that actually needs to be done within the next few weeks.
Okay. All right. I mean, one of the things that we're doing in Flagstaff is we're tabling regularly, putting out information about the party and about Mecha and different organizations. And then on April 12th, we're putting together a teach-in that's being sponsored by the party and by Mecha in the Ethnic Studies Department to talk about the impact of well, I mean, to talk about what Trump's doing to education. I mean, that's really the most straightforward way to say it. Um, but those are things that that we're doing within the next 2 weeks to to try to bring some sort of you know light to things. Yeah. Any, anybody else want to share what they think that they might be able to do within the next 2 weeks?
I think in 2 weeks I'll be in New Mexico and I can meet with Andres and Andrea and
You're
Ernesto
looking
Todd
forward to it.
Mireles.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all going to be in ABQ.
Yeah, I mean,
ABQ.
I can also, like, I'm doing a presentation at UNM and I can mention it too. Mention that we're going to have coffee with Raza Unida there in Albuquerque. Because,
Can I
listen.
correct you on the ABQ?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's burke.
Burke. All right, I'll say that. It's just so much easier to write ABQ.
But burke,
Burke.
what do you call it, Andres?
I thought I thought it
No,
was Bosquero.
shoot. It don't matter to me. Names don't mean much.
I know, but hey, when you're talking to your friends, what do you say? Albuquerque or do you say Burke?
I talking to my friends. I say esse.
No, that's not what I'm trying to ask you.
You guys, I mean, I thought they call themselves Bosqueros,
Osceolos?
like from the
Buqueños.
bosque.
Bu-
Burqueños, burqueños.
No, I mean,
Buqueños.
like,
Buqueños.
yeah, I mean, a lot of folks were, anyway.
No, it's
May-
after Burke, Buqueños.
No,
Yeah,
like there's like a little, the bosque is like around there, right?
No, that's not what it's
yeah,
named after.
No,
yeah.
no, no. I'm saying, yeah, there's some people that call themselves Bosqueros there.
Oh,
Oh,
I
shoot.
didn't know that.
You guys don't, we don't run in the same circles, I guess. I guess these.
You're gonna have to introduce us to them.
I didn't know that there was people that would claim that.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
wait a minute,
some
you got
have.
because we're running out of time. Anybody else want to talk about what they might be able to get done in the next 2 weeks?
Well, I know for sure that Tuesday we have to. Okay, so we're Food Not Bombs, but we have to serve on a Tuesday, which is not our regular serve day because the New Mexico Oil and Gas that gave us a grant of some money, they want to film us picking up food, like rescuing food and serving it to the community. And oh my gosh, so, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good though. That's good, right? And then
Well, they gave us money.
you have a Raza Unida t-shirt. You got another one on the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I hope
yeah.
it gets here because for the for the love of God, I don't know where my shirt's at. I've
Uh
searched high and low, but it's just
that's all right. I'm always losing stuff like that. Thomasine or Shista or Alex. Kind of like last ones.
I have a question real quick for anybody, like, and for tabling, like, could we just go to a park? Like, like, is that okay? Like, we're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble.
No.
Mm.
No.
We're
You
not
can just
selling anything, right? It was like,
right. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Actually, you know what, Shista, you and I should really think we should really uh we should get you to zoom in
Right?
to the meeting. Yeah, Thomasine came up this last week and Vanessa zoomed in and I think it was really good and a lot of these young women, they are from the Phoenix area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they're all bilingual. I mean,
That's so cool.
yeah, they're fluent, man. And they
I'm gonna
That's
got
be in
rad.
Phoenix too really soon. Like what, week and a half, 2 weeks,
yeah.
something
Okay,
like that.
yeah. Maybe get coffee or something.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know. Like I was trying to set up a reading there, but it didn't work out. But I'm just gonna
Mm.
wind up meeting a writer there. But
Have
and
you
we can
contacted
meet too.
Palabras bookstore? They're
Yeah, they
pretty.
wouldn't reply to me. I called them. I emailed them.
Oh, that's weird. She used to be
Yeah,
really on top of it.
yeah. My name's Scott Duncan. I think that's why. And also the
Oh,
father Chicano Sci-Fi. He's got a white name too. So I think we're.
mm,
I don't think I'm gonna try it
fun.
once more, but I don't think it's gonna work out. You know.
So
I'll send her
Shisa,
a message too.
let's do that for this next Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Tuesday, send me a message or email.
Yeah, and then maybe we can all come and table together.
I would love that.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing for us to do.
Well,
Maybe we can even get Thomasine to come down with us.
that'll be fun.
I can do that.
Okay. All right. Thomasine, did you have something that you wanted to share with us in terms of getting something done within the next few weeks?
Well, I just wanted to share that the tribe has their parent education meeting coming up. So I do plan to be there. I'm going to share a little bit about what we're working on and get some information about what the parents are sharing in terms of the changes in the for education. We have two different parent committees here in the Verde Valley, one for Camp Verde and one for another school district in another part of the reservation. So we're about 30 miles apart from each other's, but I think the challenges may be somewhat similar, but I think it's always important to look at the uniqueness that each community is facing, the challenges that the communities are facing.
Okay.
The other is the uh, the youth leadership, the Unity program. They're having a meeting coming up, and so just wanted to join them and hopefully bring some of the students from Flagstaff down to share what's being worked on, and just to start having some time together, and you know have some projects outlined for the coming months.
Okay. All right. And then Alex, how about you, bro?
Oh, Josh. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Sometimes Alex struggles with his mic a little bit. So, um, I think the main thing here is as you look at the handout that I sent you, step 5 is reflection and growth. After your initial efforts, what worked well? What challenges did you face? How could you improve future actions to better serve the people? Right. And then the final reflection, how does building a PNLRU chapter connect to the larger goal of Chicano liberation and self-determination? So what what I would urge you to do is this: as you go throughout the week, you take a look at this worksheet. You take a look at the worksheet that we did last week in terms of how to build a rap. That you really take a moment and reflect on how it is that you want to talk to people about this, right? It's a little different than I think than what we're normally used to in terms of having conversation with other raza. Those conversations usually center around cultural activities. Well, I mean, they usually center around cultural activities, right? And then when we talk politics, it almost exclusively focuses on Republican Democrat dynamic. And so what we're doing is we're not only asking ourselves to start an intentional conversation that exists outside of that two-party dynamic, but we're also, trying to draw other people into this conversation, into this political conversation, right? Um, so what works well? What challenges did you face? How can you improve? I think when we come back next week, for those of you that are here right now, one sec, Andres, I'll be right to you. That we can get some sort of report back on that, and I think it'll be. I think that. Well, I mean, I think this was a good conversation. I think we had a good discussion, you guys. Go ahead, Andres.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a logistical question here. How do I download this stuff? I don't, I guess I'm not that technically educated, so I need some help. Like, I would like to have this so I could read through it and look and kind of digest it. And so I don't know how to download it.
What? Do you know how to download it from your email?
No.
Okay, so this is what we'll do, Andres. I will text you a little bit later, and you and I will get back on Zoom, and I will show you how to do that over Zoom. Okay?
Let me ask you, do you have this like in a form of like an attachment you could send to me?
It's in your email.
Okay, then I'll get it.
Oh, okay.
Then
All
I'll
right.
have it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. No, it's
good.
it's in your email. The PowerPoint and the worksheets, they're all in your email.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you coming in from, Sarah?
Vacaville area,
Back is that
California.
California, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, we're just wrapping up, sister.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I wish I'm sorry that you weren't able to join us for this. It's yeah, Scott's in Oakland. Is that by Vacaville? Vacaville.
It's
Hour
like
and a
30
half.
minutes.
Yeah, something like
Oh,
that.
Hour and a
yeah.
half? Okay.
Yeah.
Hour.
Hour and a half's not bad for California. That's what I understand anyways. So,
Yeah.
Sarah, we're gonna go around and introduce ourselves to you real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right, my name is Ernesto Mireles, and I live in Prescott, Arizona, and I am currently the National Secretary for the Partido Nacional de la Raza Unida, and I've been working leading these organizing seminars. Who'd like to go next?
I'm Andres Valdez, and I'm Albuquerque, New Mexico. Um, been involved in the Chicano movement all my life, and I'm looking to actually figure out how to make a real impact uh, in these days. Basically,
Who wants to go next?
I can go. My name's Scott. I'm in Oakland, and I've been part of Raza Unida for like 5 years, longer, something like that. And I'm also supposed to be, helping get membership in Northern California. So if you know some folks, shoot them my way as well.
All right. Andrea?
I'm Andrea Martinez. I am from Roswell, New Mexico, and I am the New Mexico State Representative, and I'm writing my book and educating myself and organizing and just growing.
No. And
Nice
then
to meet you.
Shista?
Hi, Sarah. My name is Shista. I live in Mesa, Arizona. I'm from California originally. I am from like Southern California. My dad was a Chicano studies professor, so that kind of shaped like who I am. My parents, and then came out to Arizona, got a degree in political science. I said a homeschool mom, right? Or what else? I'm an Arizona state rep. I think I forget. That's it.
And then Thomasine?
Hi, my name is Thomasine Cardona. I am from the Yavapai Apache Nation in Arizona, and I am currently serving the party as the Native Nations director. Is that correct?
Yes.
I've been in this role for a couple of months, so good to have you with us.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will be back next Saturday. Uh, actually, wait a minute. Let me check the date. What is next Saturday? Is that when we'll be in Albuquerque?
mm,
No, we'll be back next Saturday. But the Saturday after that, we will have to skip the Saturday after that. But we'll be back next Saturday. Sarah, we look forward to you joining us, and
Thank you.
adding your knowledge to the discussion, which I think has been very fruitful over the last several weeks. Um, so yeah, all right, okay, you guys, good work. Any last thoughts?
Well, can I talk to you, Ernesto, and Alex really quick for a
Yeah, Alex
minute?
logged. It looks like Alex logged off,
Okay.
but
All
yeah,
right. Yeah.
I
Okay.
saw your message.
Okay.
Okay, all right, we'll see you guys soon.
all right. Hey, thank you. Good
Bye.
meeting. Looking
Okay,
Yep.
forward.
yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
Might not
okay.
be able to make the next one though.
Oh,
Let's.
well,
Have a great weekend, all.
yep. See you later, Thomasine. Come when you can, Andres. I appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all take care.
Uh, yeah, on the Chicano futurist like manifesto thing, like whenever I think whenever we got time. I mean, I'm not gonna have much time the next few weeks, but I think whatever we get on that, we got a lot of places to put it. I wrote a couple things on there and also put some like what do you call it? Uh, like some other like documents we could take a look at.
Okay.
Um, but like I also forgot Knox is coming up really quick. I need to know from Alex, like, so I ordered some like flyers and stuff for with Chicano Futurism, but this is like, can I share this really quick? It's for the Maiz Poppin' Press.
Yeah, let's see it.
I'm gonna see if how exorbitant this what do you call it? Someone else is sharing. Oh, you gotta stop sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I was sharing. Let's see. Stop. There we go.
I'm gonna see if this will come in time if I order it. Um, like what's his name? Osmani is like, oh, my friends might say like all the stuff against Aslan and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, but it's not your book.
Yeah, who cares what your friends say, dude?
Yeah,
I
my
don't know
friends
your
suck. They
friends.
won't even come to my reading. What are you talking about? Your friends are. That's what I try and tell them. You got all these friends. They're not coming to your reading, by the way.
Yeah,
Um, uh, but this is basically a brochure. Let me see if I can get it. Like I put in the new icon in there, the new little maize pop and press.
mm,
So I figured people to hang it up or whatever. Um, yeah, that's Alex's new cover. I don't know if you saw it.
that's awesome. Did he do that?
Yeah. This shit's gonna fly off the shelf, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Like that goes to right to the Mexican soul.
yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude.
They got little butterflies on it, tortillas, and it's really talking about, the story of Chicanos here. And he doesn't have a cover yet, so I just put a picture of him. Um
That's
I
Asmani. That's Asmani, right?
Yeah, that's money. That's money.
Yeah,
And I just figured it's like a nice little thing to have a little about us and have people look. I mean, I don't know like if I can get it in time. If not, there's gonna be other stuff around this year. We're just going to be working on basically Alex's this year as he wants to, do it next year. But like, we still got to get the LLC, get an account for like Ingram